Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Night Jam. Tonight is tribute night, where we are going to do a solid effort of a tribute to one of the greatest bands in Canadian history, uh, the Tragically Hip. Also, we will be using this platform tonight to pay honor and respect to Captain Jennifer Casey, who tragically lost her life serving our country in the best way that she knew how as a member of the Royal Canadian Air Force's Snowbirds. Captain Casey was an avid, diehard fan of the Tragically Hip. So I planned on doing this hip show, and one of our guests tonight, Andre Pettipas, messaged me and he was like, "Hey man, you should really throw this show out to Captain Casey because she loved the hip just as much as any other Canadian does." And within an hour, I had all five guests lined up, ready to go with their own versions of some of the best hip tunes you'll ever hear. And man, I heard them in the green room just warming up. And you guys heard them on our Monday Night Jams Facebook page, just little snippets of what we got in store for you. So, without further ado, let me bring to the stream our very first guest, a guest from last year's start off of the Monday Night Jam, the good old guy from Brook Village, Cape Breton Island, Mr. Eddie Cummins.
Hey, Sean, how you
Hey,
doing?
pal. Not bad, man. Listen, I said I was doing the hip tribute, and it kind of just like popped in my head. I was going to do a hip tribute, and I was like, well, I got to message Eddie because well, that's basically how we met. Just
Yeah,
chatting about Gord and the band and everything, and Inverness at the pub, and getting to know one another. And then you and Brent, who else is on this stream tonight, dragged me out to Unionish, where we did uh,
yeah,
a hip tribute at the theater there at St. FX. So I felt it very fitting that I finally wrap my hands around you and drag you back to the Monday Night Jam and get you on here for a show. I know you're busy as hell up there in Brook Village. It's lobster season now, so you're even busier than you normally are.
yeah. No, it's busy, but it's a good busy for sure, and
Yeah.
it's never too busy for some hip. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah,
no, absolutely not. We almost didn't have you though. Eddie was in a traffic jam in Brook Village tonight. There were two tractors on the road at one time. We almost didn't have him.
yeah, yeah. You know, there's not many passing zones here, and I had to kind of wait it out.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
If anybody listening right now is familiar with Brook Village is so tiny that if you blink as you drive through, you will miss it.
it's gone. Yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
opposite side of Mabu, on the other side of the Mull River Shuffle. Yeah, Mull River. It's a beautiful little spot, though. I miss being up there, man. I miss stopping at the Brook Village Market and stopping by and
yeah.
saying all the time.
It's definitely quiet, but definitely homey for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So again, thank you for coming on, Eddie. I know, like we've chatted about the hip many times. The hip has been influential in your music, and of course, the whole point of this show is one, to pay tribute to the hip itself, but
yeah,
also to honor Captain Jennifer Casey, who, like so many of us, was a hip fan. It's coast to coast, everybody loves the hip, and she was
yeah,
very, very vocal about how much she loved the hip.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's cross country wide, and it's definitely something I think that all Canadians have in common in one way
absolutely.
or another. Yeah, big time. Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, with that, let's get the show rolling, buddy. I heard
sure.
you're going to hit us heavy right out the gate.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do a song that I remember I used to listen to my on my parents' desktop computer with headphones on. I remember it was the first time I had heard the hip. I didn't know what it was. I remember thinking, "What is this?" And then I found out they were Canadian, and I thought that was even better. And it was "Up to Here" was the album. And I think it's fitting that I do the first song of the first album that I've heard from the Tragically Hip. And this is for, of course, Jennifer Casey. They shot a movie once, my hometown. Everybody was in it for miles around. Out at the speedway, some kind of Elvis thing. Well, I ain't no movie star, but I can get behind anything. Yeah, I can get behind anything. Get it out, get it all out. Yeah, stretch that thing. Yeah, make it last, oh, at least until the supper bell rings. Well, the taxi driver liked his rhythm, never liked the stops. Throws the passion, and something just threw him off. Well, sometimes the faster it gets, the less you need to know. But you gotta remember, the smarter it gets, the further it's gonna go when you blow it high. Oh, baby, I feel fine. I'm pretty sure it's genuine. Oh, it makes no sense, no, it makes no sense, but take it free anytime. Oh, whoever fits her usually gets her. It was the strangest thing. How'd you move so fast? Move so fast, oh, into that wedding ring. Well, sometimes faster it gets, less you need to know. But you gotta remember, the smarter it gets, the further it's gonna go when you blow it high, don't. When you blow it high, don't. Yeah, blow it high, don't. Oh, blow it high, don't.
Beautiful, my man. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on, Eddie.
Cheers.
Eddie's the only one not going to stick around with any of us tonight. He's got to go to bed. He's got to go
Yeah.
to bed so he can get up nice and early and catch everybody some lobsters.
Early to bed, early to rise, fish like
Yeah.
hell until it flies.
Yes. Hey, whatever,
Yeah.
man. I again thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I
Cheers.
really
Thanks
do
for having me
appreciate it.
on.
Cheers, buddy.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have to do this a full show again once we get a little bit of time out of you.
Absolutely.
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 All right, man. Have a
Okay.
good one. Take it
Cheers.
easy.
Take care.
All right. So that was Mr. Eddie Cummings. I'll share his Facebook profile in our comments there in a moment, just so everybody can follow along. Give Eddie some likes and some shares, and make sure you follow him around. He's a hell of a musician, great songwriter too. I actually had the privilege of traveling a few different locations around Cape Breton Island with Eddie and Mr. Jim Ralph a few years ago, while Eddie recorded a live album that he's yet to release. But trust me, when he does release it, it'll be well worth every bit of it. It was one of the first gives and goes that he had of his song "This Is Real," which you could check out on Spotify or iTunes or any of those streaming platforms. It's a hell of a love song, and well written by the man himself. If you are just tuning in, this is a Tragically Hip tribute show tonight where we pay honor and respect to Captain Jennifer Casey, who was a proud Nova Scotian and an even prouder Tragically Hip fan. And I felt the need to do a hip show just to change things up a little bit. And Andre Pettipas messaged me and gave the idea that we should really dedicate this to Captain Casey because of her love for the hip, like so many Canadians out there. So I couldn't say no to that. So, if you are watching, just tuning in, that's what the show is all about. But if you're still here from the beginning, can you do me a favor and just give this a share? I want to make sure lots of people get out there and see this music and they hear all these great artists donating their time to show the respect for Captain Casey and also pay tribute to the greatest Canadian band ever in the history of Canadian bands. I don't care what decade you're from; these guys are mega, mega, mega stars, and they'll always go down in history as one of the greatest bands ever. But back to the show. Next, I have my first ever female guest on the Monday Night Jam. She's so graciously agreed to come back and bless us with one of my absolute favorite tunes. And amazingly enough, uh, aside from Captain Casey, the song is highlighted again in this time that we're in with the whole COVID-19, because this little town took a good beating, and I think we can make sure that this one is going out to Captain Casey, but this also goes out to all those people that have felt the wrath of what's going on in the world right now. And we'll bring Miss Elise Aaron in here. She's going to entertain us with a little Bob Cajun.
Hello. Yes.
Hey there.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I heard you just fine on your Monday night garage sessions too. There were some fancy tunes in there, some PG
Lots
rated.
of 90s for you tonight.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoy. Elise does a Monday night garage show at 7:00, if I'm correct.
Yep, 7:00 on Facebook.
All right. So again, once I'm going to throw Eddie's Facebook page up in the comments in a moment, and when Elise finishes, I'll throw hers up as well, so we can start following her for her Monday night jam sessions from her garage. And trust me, it's a good thing to sit down and actually, I was out walking around the house getting ready for the show, and I had you in my back pocket just playing along and kind of singing the tunes as I was going. And I was like,
I love that.
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, you're my soundtrack getting ready for this tonight. So
cool. Well, I didn't play this one. I saved it for tonight, especially.
Yes. So you're doing Bob Cajun for us, which
Yes.
it's a very emotional song, but well written song. Like, there's a lot of meaning in behind that song. Gord Downey was a poet.
Gord Downey is amazing. I know. I feel like not worthy, but I'll give him my best shot.
Hey, as I tell my daughter all the time when she's like, "Do you think I did a good job?" I'm like, any form of art is a true expression of the artist. So there's never a wrong way to express yourself.
Oh, you're such a great dad.
That's the best way that I could explain them. Never feel bad about what you do. Is how you express yourself is how you feel that it should be expressed. So you're not going to do anything wrong about Bob Cajun or the Tragically Hip. It's your way of expressing your love for the Tragically Hip.
All right.
Stage is yours, ma'am.
You ready for it? Here we go. Bob Cajun. This is for Jennifer Casey. Your house this morning about 9:15. Could have been Willie Nelson. It could have been Hawaii. I left your house this morning. Was a little after 9. I was in my kitchen where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. Drove back to town this morning, working on my mind. I thought I maybe couldn't, thought of leaving it behind. to bed this morning, I was falling down the lights, and the sky was dull and hypothetical, and falling one cloud at a time. That night in Toronto, where the checkerboard floors, riding horseback and keeping order restored, till the men they couldn't hang stepped to the mic and sang, and their voices rang with that Aryan twang. So I left your house this morning. It's a little after 9. In the middle of that riot, couldn't get you off my mind. I left your house this morning, was a little after 9. It was in Barcadian where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. Thank you.
I don't know what you were worried about, because I'm pretty sure anybody that's listening to this show right now will agree that you just knocked that beautifully out of the park.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's one of those songs where it has to have that just soft, loving tone to it, because it's a love song.
Closed.
Yeah, it's a love song. That's people think love songs are all about romance, and that's a love song. Bob Cajun is a love song.
I love it. It's maybe my second favorite Tragically Hip song.
Yeah, you watch live concerts and you see Bob Cajun playing, and they show the crowd, and you see couples just holding each other and dancing, and like everybody has that song somewhere in their heart, right? And it means more to others, but absolute amazing job.
Thank you. And thank you for having me here. It was an absolute honor.
Yes, I was, when I decided to do the show, I was like, okay, I got to try and bring back like everybody that's been here the last few weeks. And I was like, I asked you and I asked Abby, because I'm like, well, they're my only 2 females. I have to get one. So I was like, yeah, I asked both. And Abby unfortunately couldn't come on tonight. She has family home. They extended their family bubble, so she was able to get some family time, and that was her reason. And I was like, okay, that's more than a justifiable reason, I guess.
That's a great excuse to not be here. Definitely. Well, I'm glad for yes, because it's nice to represent the female musicians tonight as well. I think Jennifer Casey would have been proud to see that.
Absolutely. As we are very proud of her for everything that she's accomplished in her life and what she's done for this country. I mean, people, some people say, well, she's a snowbird pilot. I'm like, yeah, well, you don't just become a snowbird pilot. There's years of dedication and service that you get that level.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So thank you so much, Elise, for coming on.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. You're more than welcome to hang out in the green room and watch the rest of the show with us. I'll probably bring everybody back on at the end if you want to hang out and have some more.
Yeah, so I'll hang in the green room. That's cool.
Yeah, just keep having some beverages out of your coffee cup that you got there.
I was going to say, is there beer back there?
No, this is the only green room without beer.
Boo.
There's no warm sandwiches and there's no warm beer. So, all right. Thank you so much, Elise, for joining me tonight, and I'll see you in a little bit. Wasn't too bad, eh? She's not too bad of a singer. Again, she does a fantastic job every Monday night in her Monday Night Garage sessions. I'm going to throw her Facebook page up in the comments right now, so everybody can make sure to tag along and give her a follow and watch her on Monday nights. It's great because, like I said, she's my warm up before my show. I kind of listen to her and just bop along around the house and hear what she does. She does a lot of amazing 90s covers, which I'm just a sucker for 90s tunes. So I enjoy watching and listening along. Like I said, I just throw her in my back pocket and buzz around the house and have it on while I'm in the shower getting ready and everything. So it's a very easy tune to listen to. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Monday Night Jam. Tonight is a tribute to the Tragically Hip, and also we are doing the greatest of honoring Captain Jennifer Casey, who was a Royal Canadian Air Force pilot with the Snowbirds, who tragically lost her life a week ago. So doing exactly what she loved, entertaining and trying to bring the spirits up of Canadians during what we're going through in a cross-country tour with the Snowbirds. And Jennifer Casey was an avid, hardcore Tragically Hip fan. It's one of the things that she made sure she pushed out as much as she could, is that how much she loved the hip, as many Canadians do, as most of you people that are watching right now do. Everybody loves the hip. Everybody's got a favorite hip tune. I have on my forearm. I don't know if we can. I can't really show you. I have a tattoo on my forearm. It's a good life if you don't weaken, which is a great motto that I've come across and found strength through Gord Downey and his music with the Tragically Hip during some struggling times that I had. So that is why they are one of the greatest bands ever, as they all had a way to empower their lyrics with us as Canadians. And the Tragically Hip wrote lyrics as a band. They didn't just say Gord's the man. Gord was the penmanship, but they all worked on everything together. And I think my favorite thing about the Tragically Hip is that they wrote about every part of this country. I was fortunate enough to be asked to do some photos at a amazing tribute show 3 years ago with my next guest. That's actually where I met him and got to go see this show where there's a pile of amazingly talented musicians from the Antigonish area who put on a show at the theater in Antigonish. And there was one female in particular, I can't recall her name, but everybody got their own choice to sing their own hip tune because of what it meant to them. And she sang Dire Wolf. And the reason she sang Dire Wolf was because it hit home to her. She was a Newfoundlander living in Antigonish. And I don't know if many people know this, but Gord Downey actually wrote the song Dire Wolf on the Newfoundland ferry about Newfoundland. It one of the first lines is in it. He speaks of Isle of Moore, and he actually you can YouTube this. Rick Mercer actually had a chat on there about Gord Downey, and Rick Mercer talked about how Gord Downey called Rick Mercer's father to talk to him about Isle of Moore because he wanted to make sure that he spoke the proper pronunciation of it and what it was about, et cetera, et cetera. And then he had sent Rick Mercer's father a beautiful plaque of the album before they released it and everything. And his father had no idea. He just kind of said, yeah, Rick, your bud Gord called me asking me some questions, and his father had no idea who Gord Downey even was. But it was just so empowering to know that, where I live in North Sydney, it's amazing to know that a man of that caliber and that amazing penmanship skill got on the boat that's at the end of my road and wrote this incredible tune about a place just across the stream. I think the next guest can probably give me a little bit more love on that one too, because he's no stranger to Newfoundland. He does live in Antigonish at the moment, but Mr. Brent Collins.
Sean,
there's a newfie for you. That guy's a Newfoundlander right there. He knows all about. What do you have, boy? So yeah, you know all about the Dire Wolf. You know what that song is all about.
Yeah, that was Katie Jameson, who you're thinking of, old friend of mine.
Yes. I knew it was Kay, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to miss misquote myself or anything, but no, I remember her doing that tune, and it was because she was from Newfoundland, and it meant a lot to her that it was a tragically hip tune about Newfoundland.
Yeah, well, you can be from anywhere and find a tragically hip song that hits home. Like they were so Canadian, like they weren't specific to where they were from. Like you see a lot of bands, they'll write songs about their province or their hometown, but I mean, yeah, he wasn't shy about writing about every corner of the country that he went to, which was great.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing that, like I said, Gord was the man with the pen, but the band wrote together, and they all wrote about their experiences and their love for this country, and when their experiences of touring around this country and that, and it. I just remember Katie telling the story, and I honestly, personally, did not know that about the song itself. So it was amazing to hear that. Like I said, I live in North Sydney. I can literally see the Newfoundland ferry out my front door.
Yeah.
So it was cool just to hear the song about how Gordon the band jumped on the ferry and we're going to Newfoundland, and that's where. And am I wrong in saying that I think the drum line from the song came from the sound of the crashing waves on the ferry as they traveled across?
I can't say for sure, but it sounds
I
right.
believe
I mean,
Katie
you can
said
definitely
something
take
along
that from
those
it. You
lines.
can definitely get that from it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's powerful, and it's cool. You're a Newfie, and you got a song by the Hip about Newfies.
Yeah, I know, right?
And not making fun of you either.
This is one of the few songs of Newfoundland that's not parody. Yeah.
That's right. Keith Hocko knows Dire Wolf, buddy. Dire Wolf.
All this build up, and I'm not even going to play that song.
Well, no.
We should have spoken about this before. I would have maybe done that one. I never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I said in the little introduction there, I got to do the show. It's almost 3 years ago now, which is mind blowing. Ed, I had met Eddie, and we'd start doing some work together on Eddie's music portfolio and getting stuff ready. And he said, "Oh, well, my buddy Brent's doing a show in Antigonish if you want to come with me, and it's a tragically hip cover show." And I was like, "Okay, well, I can't argue with that." It was just after Gord had passed away.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, let's we'll jump in the car and we'll go up." So we did, and man, I can still hear Jen's, like, I can't hear the song Gift Shop without hearing Jen just wailing through the theater, right? It's just.
Yeah, I found recordings on my phone the other day. Actually, I sent it to her where we were rehearsing. We just recorded on my phone, so just in my memos, my sound memos, and then it was fun to listen to those again, even as a rehearsal, because it just brought you right back. That was a special night. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of good things came from that too, because you and I met, and you and I have worked together since, and it was the first time Eddie actually hauled me on stage to play with him, and then he and I started playing together a little bit. So like there was a lot of cool connections made that night too.
Yeah, and I got to, my buddy Brent, he plays the guitar and he's putting this together, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I got to go, and I like never really met you, and I was with Eddie and knew what he did. But for anybody that's watching right now, this guy is not just a guy that plays a guitar. This guy is a wizard on a guitar. Like, he got up with pretty well every person that sang that night.
Well, it wasn't even supposed to be that way. Like, I wasn't going to be on the stage, like, because I just put the message out, and like you said, it was just after Gord had passed away. So all I did was, it wasn't supposed to be a fundraiser. It wasn't supposed to be anything crazy. It was just supposed to be, a tribute. I just sent it out on Facebook. I said, who wants to play a tribute show to the Hip? And it was just overflowing of people messaging me. So I wanted to get everybody in to do the show and, get them on stage. So I was like, I don't need to be on stage for the show, because I'm going to be planning it, and I'm going to be getting everything arranged. So I just kind of want to be in the wings. But Eddie pulled me on stage. My buddy John pulled me on stage. Liam pulled me on stage. And then like Katie and Jen wanted me to put a band together because they didn't have a band they wanted to sing. So I ended up playing with them as well. So it was a lot of fun. It wasn't the way it was supposed to be.
But
my pick there.
What I'm getting
it worked out for me. I was happy with it.
But what I'm getting at here, though, is you didn't know you were doing it, and you still got on stage, and you played pretty well with every person there, except for like I think one group, and you played every hip tune that they threw at you off the cuff, and just went, "Yeah, I got this. Hold on," and just played it.
I mean, to be fair, there's not really like a hip song that's like super obscure, that I haven't been listening to for like 20 years. So it wasn't like anything too outrageous. I mean, I knew those songs, just listening to them. So, and the guys made it easy too. I mean, it's not like you're playing with amateurs. You just kind of do their thing and stay out of the way. And
but it like you just said, you've been listening to it for 20 some years. You've been a hip fan as long as you can remember, right? You followed them along. You didn't just pick them up. You've always been a hip fan, and their music just resonates with you, and you know how to pick it up, right? The only thing I say from that, like, there wasn't a bad moment from. I remember we were in the back room, just in the little hallway there with Eddie, and he was tuning up the guitar, and I don't know who the guys were, but they were calling them this the denim tuxedo. They were all, every one of them were dressed in jean jackets and jeans. It was hilarious. But I remember them starting to play Courage.
Yeah.
And you could just hear them just warming up as a band. They were the first people to go on. They were the last people to sound check, and they just started clicking away. And I'm going, holy hell, these guys are good. Yeah. And then from them to Jen to Katie, Liam Brophy blew my socks off with long time running that night.
Yeah.
Literally walked in the door 5 minutes before he was supposed to go on, and we went, Liam, what are you playing? I think I'll do long time running. And just incredible.
Yeah. No, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Yeah, that was a great night.
But it shows how amazing the hip are.
Well, I mean, it's almost like you come to, it's like, oh, there was a tragedy, we should do something, and just immediately the first person you think of is the hip, like you did with this, and immediately everyone gravitates towards that. Like you said, it only took you a couple minutes to put together, the performers for tonight, and if any of us couldn't make it, I'm sure there was a lineup more of people to.
100%. There's always someone that has. Actually, it was funny as I was picking people to come on. You and Eddie were the first two that I hit up, and I was like, hey. But everybody was like, is this song gone? Is this song gone? Is this song gone? Like, it was trying to pick off who was going to do what as we went down through the line, right? So it was cool, though. I kind of, like, I knew Eddie could do a really good job of a Head by Century. We recorded it, and he's done it before, but I wanted to get him away from a Head by Century.
Yeah.
It was cool. I wanted to hear him do something else, and we got, I wanted to hear different people do different things. So it was really cool to break it up and get a little bit different tones out of his. So, this here is a tribute to the hip. It's an honorable tribute to Captain Jennifer Casey, who was a hip fan. I can't wait to hear you play. If anybody follows along on the Monday Night Jams page, I put up a little sneak peek of someone playing from the chest up, a little bit of In View, and that was this fella here.
That's like a song that I've always wanted to put, like, arrange, and I just never got around to it. So when you asked, you're like, let's do something, I was like, man, that'd be a good chance to do it. So I finally figured out a way to do it. So it's gonna be rusty, but it'll be fun.
Hey, because I put you on the spot. You're like, I want to do this too, and I'm like, already taken. You're like, what about In View? I'm like, okay, and he's like, 1 sec, I'll send you something. And 20 minutes later, you sent me it, and I was like, that's like just quick. 1 second, I try something.
Well, go with your first instincts, right? That's the idea. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. So you have 2 tunes for us. You've selected 2 tunes. So, all right, what do you want to go first? Do you want to do View?
Yeah, I'll do In View first. Yeah.
All right, we'll do In View first, and then I know what's coming next, and everybody's going to love it just as much. So I want to give a shout out to Keith Hocko, who's been commenting all this time. And let's see. Yeah, let's he wants to know where your boots by.
Hocko sounds like a Newfoundland name. I knew Hocko was back in Newfoundland. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Alan Hocko, the actor,
Yeah. Hocko's a big Newfoundland name. He's definitely got some connections.
Oh yeah. The old Republic of Oil. That was one of my favorite shows on TV, man. I was devastated when they canceled that.
Bob Cole was the narrator.
Yeah. It's just such a good show. But anyways, folks, if you're just tuning in, this is a Tragically Hip tribute night in honor of Captain Jennifer Casey. Give us a share, give us a like. I'm going to throw Mr. Brent Collins music page in the comments so you can follow along with Brent as well. But until then, let's hear Mr. Collins do an incredible version of View.
I love you, you know I do. Yeah, it's perfect. Well, it isn't and it is. I've been meaning to call you. I've been meaning to call you, and I do. I've been meaning to call you. I've been meaning to call you, and I do. Phone rings once, phone rings twice, phone rings 3 times. I am of you. You are in everything I do. I trust you. That makes you true. I don't care if it isn't the way it is. I've been meaning to call you. I've been meaning to call you, and I do. Phone rings once, phone rings twice, phone rings 3 times. I'm of you. You are always in view. And I am my will. You are in everything I do. I do. I do. I do. If the day erases dark of night, excited states gone in plain sight. Under the wave of by cave light, I lose things change, but never in your eye. I am of you. You always in view. I'm of you. You and always everything I do.
I absolutely love that tune. It's one of my favorite hip tunes, and I just when you sent me the little like snippet of you playing it, the intro, I was like, oh my god, that intro, because my favorite part of that song is the
You gotta
drum
have
line.
that. You gotta have that little lick in there.
Yeah, I love the drum line at the beginning of In View. So I was like, when you were like, I'm going to play In View, I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear how he's going to do that on an acoustic. And you handled it like nobody's business. I forgot that there was a drum introduction to that. Like forget it. So we got some viewers here. We got someone in Kitchener, Ontario, who's originally from Glace Bay, the hub to be exactly, which is way out there in Glace Bay. We got somebody watching from BC.
Wow, all the way out west.
Well, they're either talking about British Columbia or Balls Creek. I'm not sure what one it is. Balls Creek's just down the road from me, but maybe she's talking about British Columbia. That's a possibility. Yeah, either way. Yeah, no, man, that was absolutely fantastic. I love that song. I love that version. I know. When I shared your little snippet. I say she's my number one fan on the page. She never misses a show. Kirsten, who messaged me and said she's going out into a cabin with some of her family members tonight to have some pops and some whatnots out there, sit under the stars. And she's actually watching the show right now, jamming out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when she's seen the little snippet of that, she's like, "Oh my god, In View is one of my favorite songs. I can't wait for the show. I can't wait for the show." So, hi, Kirsten. Hope you're enjoying your time out there in the cabin under the stars, having a few drinks and relaxing, listening to these amazing musicians pay tribute to their hits. So you got another one for us, eh?
Well, I was gonna do one, but you wanted two, so this is
Yeah.
one that I do normally. So at least this one's a little bit more rehearsed.
Yeah, I love this one. It's Mine is Kind. This one.
Yeah, I love this too.
Yeah. Again, give us a share. Make sure we get these faces out there. We want these. Oh, well, some lady watching from Labrador City. I don't know if you know who she is.
Oh yeah, she's my biggest fan.
Well, she always will be your biggest fan. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
All right, Ben Collins. This is one of my favorite tunes. I know so many musicians that do this, and everybody does it justice. It's just one of these absolutely amazing tunes. Oh, I can't wait. So, Brent, please give us a little Boots and Hearts.
Sundown in the Paris of the prairies, we kings have all treasures buried. And all you hear are the rusty breezes pushing around the weather vane. Jesus, in the sick lighter he sees the killer's face. Maybe it's someone standing in a killer's place. 20 years for nothing, well, that's nothing new. No one's interested in something you didn't do. We kings and pretty things. Let's just see what the morning brings. Dreamy dreams where the high school's dead and stark. It's a museum and we're all locked up in it after dark. Where the walls are lined, all yellow, gray, and sinister. Hung with the pictures of our parents, prime ministers. We kings and pretty things. Wait and see what tomorrow brings. Breaking story on the CBC. The nation whispers, we all knew that he'd go free. That you can't be found living in the past. As if you are, then there's no way that you're gonna last. We kings and pretty things. Let's just see what tomorrow brings. We kings and pretty things. Oh, that's what tomorrow brings. That's what tomorrow brings.
I got so excited about you playing that song that I introduced the wrong song.
That's all right.
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful tune.
Yeah, it's one of the best ever songs, best ever written songs.
Yeah, again, it just shows that Gord Downie could sit down with a pen and write about anything about any part of this country.
Yep.
All right, I don't know. I wish the man was still alive so that you could literally sit down with him and say, "What's the song about? What's the
I
song?
know.
What's the song about?" Because he was very candid about what the songs were about. He just let the lyrics speak for themselves and let you try and figure out what it was.
100%. Well, thanks for having me, Sean. I appreciate that.
Yes,
It's
thank
always
you,
a
Brent.
pleasure.
I hope this is the fire that gets underneath you to get you back up and doing music. I'm looking forward to hearing some tunes out of you.
It's just so many people. Like everyone's online. Like normally, it would be like I'd be playing one place, and Eddie'd be somewhere else, and Andre would be somewhere else. But now everybody's online, so it's like, why would I do that? Because you can go watch Eddie, you could go watch Andre, you could watch these guys, and it's like I don't need to be on there. So
yeah, but everybody likes there's people that want to hear Brent too. I mean, I tune into Andre, I tune into Eddie, I tune into Dylan, I tune into everybody. It's my soundtrack that gets me through the day. I'm like I said, I'm doing work on the house down there, and it's awesome that I can just throw my phone on a Bluetooth speaker and listen to a live stream of somebody that I know and somebody that I enjoy at any given time. So
yeah, I love playing music, but like I'm a fan myself, so it's like I always approach that like a fan. Like I'm such a fan of all these people, and now with Elise, now I've got somebody else to watch because I haven't seen her before, so it's like I just rather take it in really than just enjoy what these guys are doing because they're doing great.
So like everybody else, please hang out in the green room. I'd love to bring you back on when we're finished up there.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah. So I was glad.
Oh, Sean dropped out. I might have to keep you guys company. Seems like Sean's gone.
I don't know what happened. I was sitting here talking to you, and then all of a sudden it said I wasn't talking to you anymore. And
sorry,
then you're back.
I just hung out with everybody here. So.
Oh, that's okay. As long as you kept entertaining, I appreciate it that you stayed there. That's the newfie in you. I'll keep them entertained.
I'm glad I didn't think I was in the green room.
Well, yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. I know you've been on a hiatus for music and that, like you just said. So I really do appreciate you coming onto the show. And again, like I said, I wanted to make sure that you came on the show because you were so kind to introduce me to you and all your friends in Antigonish and bring me as part of that show that night in Antigonish as a hip tribute. So I felt it right.
For sure.
Yeah, when we're allowed to play together, we'll all go hang out in the same venue and do something like that.
Absolutely. All right, here, Sean. Thanks.
You too. All right. Down 3. 3 of them are all gone. 3 sets of amazing Tragically hip tunes. And we still have 4 more incredible songs from 2 fantastic performers. I'm so excited to bring the next 2 guys on. The next guest specifically is my tried and true. He's been on the show multiple times. He's a phenomenal musician. I've heard him do covers of every kind of genre you can imagine, and everyone he blows out of the water. So I am super excited to bring him on. He is a partner here on Ripple Effects. He's got his own show, the Thursday night guitar show that he's just been rocking apart every week. So I'm super excited to bring to the stream right now, Mr. Dylan DeVoe.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, brother. What's up, man? Long time no chat.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Not bad. How's things out on the other side of the bridge?
Good, man. Real good. Yeah, no, staying busy, playing lots of guitar and, keeping the goats occupied and, little projects around the farm.
Yeah. How is Mr. Sabbath? Is he rocking out?
Oh, yeah, he's rocking it. Actually, rushed today. I was outside. It was nice enough to, wash the dog up and give the goats an old brushing.
Yeah, it's funny. The farm I was at had Sabbath's father. It was funny we were talking about that, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
And like I got a little special piece in my heart for Rocky now. Like we became buds. We just hung out all the time, and it's funny because his owner would come and he'd be like, give the old headbutts and give her a little run for her money, and I'd just walk over and be like, no.
Yeah.
We connect, and that would be the end of it. So he's super cool. So
Yeah,
Sabbath,
Rocky. For sure.
Sabbath probably isn't far from the old man's genes.
No, he's got his dad's shagginess. He's got the long hair like his dad, and he's got his mom's color. The mom was called Jelly Bean.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, man, thanks for jumping on the stream. Like I said, I can always count on you to say, "Hey, Dylan, I got a project. You want to jump in?" And it's always yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I'm up for everything.
I'm loving the Thursday night guitar shows too, man. I love that you've adapted the model of bringing guests on. You've had some. Yeah, I love that Jordan Musician was on the other night. He rocked her. Danny McNeil coming next week.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's great, man. Everybody that's brought some, different awesome music to the table and some sweet guitar work too, man. And the Cotton Picking Kids were phenomenal. Jordan last week, Colette.
Yeah. And it just keeps on going and going and going. I actually have I was going to announce it later on the show, but since we're chatting business, I actually have Wayne Badecki coming on next week.
Nice.
Yeah. So Elise actually messaged me saying, she was like, "Hey, have you listened to Wayne?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Yeah, I've been listening to him. I was actually going to message him." And I was like, "But since you're telling me right now, I may as well message him." So yeah, Wayne Badecki is going to be our guest next week. So we're going to rip out some tunes from him. Yeah, he's super, super talented. And who do you have Danny? You got Danny next week, or this Thursday. I guess it would be this Thursday coming.
Hey, say that again.
I said you have Danny coming on this Thursday.
Danny this Thursday. I can't say who's the Thursday after that just yet, but you definitely know who it is.
Probably.
No straight to the show.
Yeah, cool. Which is awesome because it's good that we're keeping the local guys going too, right? And that was one of my big things about doing this show in the first place, was making sure that we promote one another, right? And that's why I love that Elise messaged me and was like, "Hey, you should do this guy." And you've messaged me and said, and it's all a big circle on supporting one another right now.
Yeah, totally, man. Everybody got to hold each other up, and it's cool, man. And they're some of my favorite musicians to listen to is the local artists around here, man. It's great. My playlists are tons of Cape Breton musicians, along with hip as well too. There's a lot of hip on there.
Absolutely. So yeah, I said like, "Hey, you want to do the hip tune?" And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Want to do 2 hip tunes?" And you're like, "Definitely."
Yeah. How about 4, 5, or 6?
yeah. And I like I said, I got so excited about Brent playing the last tune, about what tune he was playing, that I skipped ahead a tune and introduced your song for Brent's song.
I caught that.
Yeah. So, it's one of those tunes that you hear around bonfires everywhere in Canada. It doesn't matter where you go. Yeah. It's just one of those classic tunes I've heard. I mean, middle of the summer with 1,000 people jammed inside Smooth Herman's, and somebody jump on stage and play it with an acoustic guitar. Andrew Doyle, to be specific, Andrew Doyle does a phenomenal job of this tune. So I can't wait to hear your rendition.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm excited to play it. I love this song. It's a good jam for sure.
I'm excited about the second one too. Like, without saying it, I'm excited about the second one because it's one of those tunes that I love. And yourself working with Ripple Effects on your guitar show, that we don't have to keep it PG, so you get to keep the lyrics exactly how they're supposed to be.
Perfect.
Well, man, I think the most important thing that we're going to say right now is let's share this stream so some more people are watching it. The more viewers, the better. That's what the most important thing about this. I want to say hi to Destiny because I know she's watching. She already gave us a little hello there. I know she's probably just around the corner from you.
Yeah, she's downstairs.
Yeah, your old man's on there too. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Hey, Dad.
All right, but I'm going to give this one to you right now. Mr. Dylan DeVoe, Boots or Hearts?
Rock on, man. Well, you won't even some air to clear. Well, we'll probably only agree on one thing anyway. What the hell is happening here? Oh, fingers and toes, fingers and toes. All these things we share. Oh, funny one if you include the fact that we don't care. See when it starts to fall apart and it really falls apart. Like a boot to heart, so when they start, it really falls apart. Fingers and toes, fingers and toes. 40 things we share. Oh, 41 if you include the fact that we don't care. Now you block the most Main Street. Got some missing. Well, everyone's in town now. Probably all agree. Lying in bed out there. See when it starts to fall apart, man, it really falls apart. Like a boot so hard to when they start, it really falls apart. Well, fall apart. Even then, can talk to you. Got some air to clear. Well, we'll probably only agree on one thing anyway. That's what the hell is happening here. Oh, fingers and toes, fingers and toes. 40 things we share. Oh, 41 if you include that we don't care. See when it starts to fall apart, and it really falls apart. Like a boot so hard to when they start, it really falls apart. Well, fall apart.
Hell yeah, brother. I love that tune, man.
I'm excited that I skipped right to the third verse and skipped the first verse altogether.
Ah,
So,
hey, acoustic, unscripted. You have the same platform on your show. What goes, goes. It happens.
that's right. Yeah, you just go with the flow, man. Have another drink.
That's right. As Ray would say, way she goes, Bubs. Way she goes. Just the way of the road, pal. That's how she's going to happen. Sometimes it happens, and that's just what goes on. But yeah, no, man, awesome job. Really, really, really great job. Actually,
Some of their songs are in weird little tunings, so you gotta mess around, you know?
yeah. Well, they have two monster guitar players in that band.
Yeah, they rip. They come up with some really cool stuff, you know what I mean? It's not all G, C, and D, although they do have a lot of songs like that. There's a lot of really cool tunings and some really intricate things that they do. Interesting, man. They're a cool band. I always have been.
Yeah, they've always had a really cool sound to them, right? Like,
yep.
I mean, I remember I'll say Andrew Doyle again. His band used to play at Smooth Herman's, and they would do Blow at Hido, and I remember bouncing at Smooth Herman's or being a doorman, whatever you want to politically correct it. And I'd be down by the lower bar, which is just about 20 feet from the stage, and Andrew would be on the stage, and he'd say, "Sean, give me an empty," and I'd grab him an empty beer bottle so he could play the slide part of the intro of Blow It Hido with an empty beer bottle. That was, I remember that. I'll remember that forever. He always did that. Yeah, he always needed an empty beer bottle. So here's me like with an empty beer bottle fighting through a crowd of like 150 people in front of the stage that was only like maybe 30 feet long by 15 feet deep, just trying to get a beer bottle so that the guy can play Blow It Hido.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got to what you got.
Yeah.
And a beer
hey.
bottle is an excellent slide.
Yeah. Hey, it's better than going out buying a slide. It makes it more authentic when you work inside a bar too.
Yeah, or you can get like a little copper pipe slide like I got, and
that's fancy.
That's free too.
Yeah. I bet that gives out a different sound though with copper versus glass.
Yeah, steel slide is it is. No, it's definitely a little more of an old school sound, I guess, you know. They definitely were using steel slides before glass, but yeah, no, it's a little more rustic, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, you're the guitar man. That's why you have a guitar show. You know all these things. I play a camera. I take pictures of you guys. I don't play an instrument. Yeah. So you got a you got another tune for us, and like I said, this is one of my favorite tunes. It's one of the harder hitting hip tunes.
It's got a little upbeat, fast for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an upper beat, faster. It's technically it's kind of a little bit faster than Blow It Hido. It's in the same range. Blow It Hido has its ups and downs, but this is just straight pedal to the floor. Let's go at her.
Let's give her, buddy. It's a super Canadian song too, which I love about it.
Yeah, and like I said, my favorite line in the whole thing is when he swears. Because honestly, as a Canadian, without giving too much into the song, I'm sure everybody has caught on already. Without saying too much, you know, as a Canadian, if someone says this to you, you go, huh? Really? that exists? Like, come on. But okay, you know. But yeah, so let's let you rip this one away. That's Fireworks.
Cool, man. There's a goal that everyone remembers. It was back in old 72. We all squeezed the stick and we all pulled the trigger. All I remember was sitting beside of you. You said you didn't give a fuck about hockey. You never saw someone say that before. You held my hand and we walked home the long way. Loosening my grip on Bobby Orr. Is it amazing anything accomplished? When the little sensation gets in your way, no ambition, no whispering, no shelter. Is it amazing you can do anything? Hung out together every single moment. That's what we thought married people do. Complete with the grip of artificial chaos. Believing in the country of me and you. Crisis and fate and crisis in the Kremlin. Yeah, we've heard all that before. It's winter time that has a solitude without me. Losing our grip on a fake global war. Is it amazing anything accomplished? When you don't have the nation get in your way, no ambition, no whispering, over your shoulder. Oh, is it amazing you can do anything? Next to the cover to the National Fitness Program, caught up in some eternal flakes of pain, dropping in the man of a feet of laughter. Show no face and color is orange shade. Fireworks exploding in the distance, temporary towers soar. Fireworks emulating heaven till there are no stars anymore. Fireworks straight in heaven, temporary towers soar. Till there are no stars shining up in heaven, till there are no stars anymore. Is it amazing? know every day in your way. No one pressure, no whispering, knowing you're stronger. Oh, you did amazing, you do anything.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like I said, you said you didn't give a fuck about hockey, and I'd never heard that before. I'm like, that is true. I seen someone comment the other day that people were complaining about the 24 team format that they're working on coming back, and they're like, I don't give a shit if it's two Timbits at center ice at an Eagles game right now. I want to watch hockey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's I love that too, and that's one of my greatest like guaranteed go to. You don't listen to it when you're driving though, because your foot gets a little carried away with the gas pedal.
It does, yeah. No, it's very easy. That and the night Patty Murphy died too. Don't
Yeah,
get going on the highway with that one ripping.
well, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, man, thanks so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Again,
Yeah,
tune in on Thursday nights and see this guy talk about guitars and cool stuff. And
yeah.
he and you started off doing tributes in your first shows, but now you're kind of bringing the guests in. Are you still going to like do the tribute thing too? Because
Yeah, I decided I was kind of doing that with the musicians too. I started off with John Hines, a good buddy of mine, and we kind of did a blues episode where we kind of focused on Waters, and Sun House. And then as I kind of get through going through the guests, and I thought, man, these guys are so good and they have so many good songs on their own that, like, why not we just have them play their own stuff, the original tunes, instead of someone else's songs. So I think everybody kind of liked that format a little better, and I'm going to save doing the tributes kind of thing to specific guitar players for when I can't get a guest and I just do it myself.
yeah, hey, that works. That absolutely works. Unless like Slash decides just to come on and rip some tunes with you some night.
If Slash comes on the show, then yeah, well, he can do whatever he wants if he comes on the show.
Absolutely. I will agree with you. I will 100% agree with you. If Slash comes on the show, I will.
Yeah. Slash can take over. Oh, looks like I'm taking over now. Sean is gone. I gotta keep you entertained, I guess. He fell out of the screen. He went into another portal. Oh.
You know what happened? It happened with Brand 2. I went to like scroll down, like to move my mouse down so I can get ready to bring the next guest on. And where I'm on a MacBook, if you bump to the left on a web browser, it brings you back on the page. So it brought me back. I was like, what the oh, never mind. I figured it out. But yeah. Thanks for jumping on and holding on just like Brent had to do for me. Stupid.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Great tribute to Tragically Hip, and also it was great getting this to the captain there too. So
yeah, absolutely. That's the great thing about music, man, and the great thing about a band like the Tragically Hip. They, if they touch hearts, they touch boots and hearts.
Yeah. That they do, yeah.
Yes. All right, man. Again, thank you so much for jumping on, Dylan. I really appreciate it. Hang out in the green room. There's no beer and no warm sandwiches, but you're more than welcome to hang out and drink your own liquor.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I got whiskey over there.
Yeah, so do I. I got a few drinks going on myself here, buddy.
Awesome.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot, man.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right. We're down to one. We got one left. And he was on not too long ago. We became instant buds. We actually got to meet a few weeks ago here in Sydney. He came down, and we finally got to formally meet. I messaged him because I knew his powerful voice would be fitting for the show with the hip itself, and I thought it would be great to close the show with something powerful. And while we were talking about what songs to do, he selected his first song, and he's like, and what else do you want to hear? And I was like, well, it'd be really cool if I could close the show with this tune. And he's like, well, I don't know it, but give me a few minutes and I'll see if I can learn it. And within like 6 to 8 hours, he sent me a message and knew the tune inside and out and made it his own and absolutely killed it. So I'm excited to play it for everybody and close the show out with it. Again, I would like just to take a moment here and, say thank you to Captain Jennifer Casey, who did so much for the country and what she did with the Royal Canadian Air Force. First of all, there is nothing but respect for anybody that puts on a uniform and enlists in the services to support and protect our country. So, anybody that's willing to do that in the first place deserves nothing but accolade. And unfortunately, doing what she loved to do ended up costing her life, which is very unfortunate. But that's part of what you sign up for. You just never know. But I felt it very fitting to pay so much respect to that woman tonight, who did so much. And she was communications officer with the Snowbirds. I don't know if you're big on social media and that, but if you go on TikTok, there's the Royal Canadian Snowbirds have their own TikTok where she was taking in-flight videos showing exactly how they fly and what they do, which is so cool. I remember being a kid seeing the Snowbirds and going, I wish I knew how they did that. And now you can, because of people like her that branched out and made it amazing that every Canadian can see what they do up there when they do something to entertain us and do everything. Homage, that's right, Keith. Sorry, I was stuck on the word there. It's amazing that somebody can do that. And the best part about her, she's Nova Scotian, just like everybody here on the show tonight. We're all Nova Scotians, and I keep saying this: we've been through a war as much as the rest of the country has had hell with this COVID-19 thing. Man, we've been getting it hard left, right, and center down here in Nova Scotia. Well, we're tough. We'll handle this just like any storm and weather it and get through it just like we always do. But back to the show. I'm going to bring on my next and final guest, who I am so happy to bring back onto the show. He's a killer dude. I was kind of upset that he didn't wear his Chicago Bulls sweater that he just got. But there he is.
It's too warm. It's too warm to wear that sweater.
Absolutely, I'll agree with you. I have like every window in this room open, and I'm still here.
Look at the sunburn I got today.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably why I got hot too. I was out working in the yard doing some stuff around the house while we're killing time today, and I got just enough.
A little burn.
Yeah, just enough to cook to put a glaze on it.
Yeah, man, there was a couple wildfires close to home today, so all I seen all day was smoke and fire, and it was like, Jesus, man. Hope all my family and friends are okay, and like this, it's just, I don't know what's going on in the world. I feel like we're in some kind of purgatory, and the world's gonna end, maybe.
Oh man, we're in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, good call there. And
yeah, like 100%, we're in the Twilight Zone. That's it.
Final answer: Twilight Zone. Take that for 700.
Like I live in North Sydney, and I went up the road up King Street, which is like the main street that goes from one end of town to the highway, like from one highway to the other highway. And when I was driving up there tonight, I looked, and you can see the smoke from up by you.
Yeah, man.
Right, like
it's like what is going on?
It's crazy. I mean, there's been a few brush fires here in Cape Breton in the last couple of days. Thankfully, we have amazing fire departments that were able to manage them and get them out quick.
Oh, exactly. They get the fire under control here. Just got some word about half an hour ago. So I'm a little bit relieved. I was worried all evening, and just crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. I know a couple of friends lost their cabins and that stuff. So
yeah, even like in Halifax, Porter's Lake burnt pretty bad yesterday. And I, not that I know of, have any friends up there, but my brother has some very close friends that live up in the area. My brother lives up there. He lives right next to some wooded area, and that's like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's a big worry. But I mean, what can you do? You fight the fire and keep pushing along.
That's right.
Try and help everybody out. We're all
like Smokey the Bear said, man. Say no to forest fires.
No.
Stop burning shit. Like if you're not allowed to burn shit, don't burn shit.
No fire. Like leave the fireworks for Dylan and for Gord.
That's right. That's right. If you're gonna burn anything, burn a joint.
There's a fire in Springfield over 150 hectares too right now.
That's crazy. That's
Oh God.
insane. But again, we will persevere. That's what we do as Nova Scotians. We'll bounce back. We always come back.
Exactly, man. We'll get through it all. At the end of this, we'll all be stronger and we'll be ready for whatever the hell has to be thrown at us next.
Oh man. I feel like that. I feel like we're living a game of Punch Out right now. We're just that little guy that just keeps getting a beat,
jumping up, and
yeah, we just got to keep trying to get those jabs in and win
whenever you can. I like it. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm trying to find a bottle here.
Okay, I figured you were looking for your drink.
Well, yeah, I had to find the Jameson. But yeah, man, hey, it's so cool to have you come back on.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, like I said, I jumped at Brent and Eddie first and was like, you guys need to be on the show, and they were more than obliged to jump back on, which is great. And then I was like I said previous to this, I needed that power to close the show. You have a strong voice, very strong voice, so it's good to. One second here, I'm not trying to be rude here, but my soon-to-be 6-year-old daughter is FaceTiming right now because I told her I would say hi to her on the show. She is FaceTiming me right now to say, why haven't you said hi to me? So hi, Charlie Jean.
I met her the other
day. I hope you're having fun at Nana's house.
That's the best.
Yes. All right. I love you, honey. You go to bed for Nana because it is almost 10:30, and I will talk to you tomorrow, and I'll pick you up at Nana's house. Okay? Bye-bye.
This is so authentic. I love it.
Well, she called me before and she was like, Dylan was on and I like FaceTime. I'm like, what? I'm doing my show. She's like, I know, I'm watching. And I'm like, okay. She's like, are you going to say hi to me?
Yeah. Have you said hi? You're dead. Daddy.
Yeah, absolutely. She is Stewie Griffin. She will. That is probably the 7th time she just FaceTimed me again, but I have to ignore that one. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. But yeah, no, I was so pumped when you were like, yeah, I'm going to do this tune. And I was like, cool. Actually, somebody said they were going to do it and then they backed out of it. And you were like, mine.
Dibs.
Dibs. I'm taking that one. I want to do it right. So you jumped all over that. And then they said, you're like, what else you want to hear? And I was like, well, it'd be really cool if we did this tune to close. And you're like, I don't know it, but give me a little bit. And you went and learned it.
Yeah. I've always loved that song. And I mean, it's a bass intro, but it's like, let's figure it out. Let's do it. Let's make it work. Yeah.
Let's see how the 6 string is going to make it sound.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But yeah. No, so I was more than happy that you agreed to come on because, it is a Tragically Hip tribute. Everybody that I've brought on tonight has been everybody that's been here has been a phenomenal musician in my eyes and have all been great guests of the show. But I just love that everybody is a little bit different.
That's the cool thing about music. Everyone has their own thing, but we all understand what's going on. We've been to the shows. We've played stages with no one. We've played stages with a lot of people. It's just like everyone's been there. They know the quirks. And like I said, being a musician can be lonely at times, but we got to use each other as support system because we all know the feelings you get. But there's nothing better than when things are going right with the music.
Yeah, and that's my favorite thing about the Tragically Hip because if you're a Canadian musician and honestly say, I don't know hip, like everybody knows a hip lick. No, exactly. Like you at least know this much of a tune, right? Like You'll give it an attempt.
I've seen them probably like 12 times live all over the country, and it's just like every show is different. I was in PEI, I think it was 2009, and I caught Gord's handkerchief that he threw in the crowd. I think I was 17 or 18 years old at the time, but I elbowed the girl in front of me by mistake. So I gave her the handkerchief. And I was like, for fuck's sakes. But
damn, being a nice guy. Damn.
I was like, man, that's the closest I'll ever get to Gord.
Well, yeah. I seen him probably 7, 8. I'm just trying to think. I've seen him at least 8 times.
Yeah.
And one of the last concerts I seen of the full band was at CBU. You know where the soccer dome is, the CBU?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the soccer dome then. It was just a parking lot, and that's where the Hip performed.
Sick.
Yeah, and it reeked of dope and warm Coors Light. That's all it was. And yeah, all they had was warm kegs of Coors Light and Molson Canadian and the Tragically Hip on asphalt.
I love it, man.
But you couldn't get much more back parking lot
No,
amazing than that.
that's
And
rad.
that's right. Elise knows Frost Week. It was Frost Week at PBU. You probably
That's
you were-
amazing. Oh, what
yeah.
did you have for your Frost Week? The Tragically Hip. Right.
Yeah.
On. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
it was cool.
on.
It was a phenomenal show. But I mean, oh my god, the beer was and it was hot. It was so hot, and the beer was so warm. But the music was so good, and
Made it worth
and then
it.
I seen Gord solo at the Savoy.
Nice. I seen him at the Rebecca Cohen on the Secret Path tour. It probably was the
Yeah.
same tour.
No, it wasn't
No?
Secret Path. This was like a few years ago when he did his
Okay.
or doing his solo. But he, I can't remember exactly what year. But I mean, the Savoy Theater is pretty close to the stage with the seats, and he came down off the stage and walked on the tops of the seats through the
Oh,
crowd
yeah.
while performing. Just
Just because
Gord.
he could.
Gord, right? It's
Mm.
there's very few people that I've ever been starstruck with. I was gracious enough to have a job growing up at Center 200. My dad got me a job there. He worked there, so I got to work concerts and do all this cool stuff. And Gord Downey was one of the very few people, as humble of a man as he is. I was like,
Dude,
fucking
you're
Gord
Gord Downey.
"You're Gord Downey, holy shit!"
Yeah.
Like I met
exactly.
Sidney Crosby, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Well,
How
I
you
was like,
been,
Gord Downey. I was like, "Holy shit, you're Gord Downey.
You're the dude.
You're him.
You
You're
are the dude.
You're Canada God."
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So let's rip off a tune.
All right.
All right.
We'll get it started.
I know this. Yeah, this is. I was so glad that when the first person that picked this song backed out, because then you picked it to be the closer of the show, and I was like, if you watch the final concert, this is one of the last tunes
Mhm.
because it's very rightfully so that this closes the show because this is a hip tune. If you don't know this hip tune, even if you're not a hip fan, you know this tune.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, buddy. She's all yours, man.
All right.
I'm not even going to
thanks.
introduce it because you're going to know as soon as he starts playing that guitar.
All right, man. First thing we climb a tree, and maybe then we talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts, illusions of someday, cast in a golden light, no dress rehearsal, this is our life. And that's when the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream, revenge and down. Tonight we'd smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. Yes, you are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. Stare in the morning shroud, and then the day began. I tilted your cloud, you tilted my hand. Rain falls in real time, and rain fell through the night. No dress rehearsal, and this is our life. And that's when the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them out. this, 'cause you are ahead by a century. 'Cause you are ahead by a century. And disappointing is getting me down.
I love that tune.
Such a fun one. That was probably one of the first hip songs I've ever learned.
It's funny. I recorded that tune for Eddie, Eddie Cummings, who opened the show tonight. I did a cool little recording of Eddie performing it on the bridge that covers the Mull River.
Yes.
Right? Just
I know
down by
exactly
here.
where that is.
Yeah, that little steel walking
Those are-
path bridge,
man,
right?
I always see that place. I'm like, yeah, that's a good place for photos, videos, and all that.
Yeah, well, we did Eddie's press photos and his
I thought so. Yeah.
of his recording there. So anyways, I did that there and I worked on it forever. And my daughter Charlie, who called there, still to this day, when she hears Ahead by a Century, I'll say, Charlie, who sings this? Eddie. That's Eddie Cummings song. Like, oh yeah, she
thinks it's his.
Yep. That's Eddie. That's Eddie's song. Eddie wrote that. And I
That's
always joke with Eddie
hilarious.
that he has no idea how famous he is that he wrote Ahead by a Century. Well,
Where's
after
the royalties? Where's the royalties?
Well,
at?
yeah, he's missing out. He's totally missing out. But yeah, no, my youngest daughter will honestly say, flat out, as soon as she hears that song, that's Eddie's song.
That's the best, man.
But yeah, a phenomenal version of it, though, man. I love, like I said, you just have that powerful voice that just
Thanks, man.
adds a little bit more to it. Because
I was gonna stand up and play, but I'm such a picky bastard with my sound. I played Saturday night and I did like a stand-up show, and I had my wireless system plugged in, but the guitar just doesn't sound the same when it's plugged in, rather than being mic'd. And I'm just like, I don't want to sacrifice my sound. So
it sounds good when you're live, but when you're streaming it, you have to get that a little bit more.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when it's recorded fully, it's like, okay, let's get the best sound we can get anyway.
Yeah, no, phenomenal version though, man. I mean, everybody's just banged it out of the park tonight. Elise with that Bob Cajun rendition.
What a voice, man.
Oh man, she's got some voice on her.
Beautiful.
Eddie opened her up with Blow at High Dough, and then Brent with Weak Kings, and oh man.
Yeah.
Dylan
awesome,
just
man.
blew me away with Fireworks. Like
that's got to be one of my favorite hip tunes too.
Oh yeah.
I was actually just like jamming along the whole show. I had my guitar with me the whole time. Just like, okay.
I sent you a message on Facebook while we were here. I was like, "Are you playing along?" Because I can see everybody in the green room as they go, and I can see you playing and singing to whoever was on playing and singing.
Yeah, man. I love music and I love the hip, so it's like this was definitely let's do it.
Yes, Elise, I can see you right now.
You
just realized that I could see everybody in the green room.
That's why I didn't pick my nose the whole time or do anything weird.
Yeah. Dylan's rocking out to a Paul's Pizza Burger right now, and Elise is literally dying on her screen.
That is the best. Shit, you can see me now?
Yeah, I could totally see you.
Love it.
The 420 show I did, somebody made a crack of Oak Lace Bay, and as they made that crack, Brian Cathcart was in the green room pouring a glass of wine out of a box.
Classy. I usually just take it out of the box, take the bag, and hold it. It's been a while since I had bag wine.
Hey, whatever, man. Box wine, bag wine, it's all good times.
All the same, man.
Yeah. So yeah, you just, one of the most notable hip tunes that, it's the intro to a TV show now. It's pretty well noted as the hip. Like everybody knows that is a hip tune, right? Who sings that? Tragically Hip, right? Even if you're not a hip fan, that song is a Tragically Hip song. That's
exactly.
Just how it goes. So it's actually Anne CBC produced it. It's the Anna Green Gables story, and the intro to the show is Ahead by a Century.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those songs, man. It's just I don't know, it's a beautiful tune. I think it's one of those songs that like you said, everyone knows, and it's just it's a song that's calm, but it has its little peaks that is so hip.
Yeah, and everybody can relate to a lyric in it. There's always something in that song. There's something in every hip song that you can relate to, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be Headwise Entry. It could be Boots or Hearts, or Three Pistols, or Waiting for a Place to Happen. Like there's so
Jams.
many good hip tunes. We could literally sit here all night, and I can bring everybody back on, and I'm sure we could all go through another catalog of hip tunes
Oh,
that
easily.
everybody just loves. Like I said, Katie and Annie Ganesh did Direwolf because of her love, because of how he wrote it for Newfoundland, and everybody's got something different because Gord wrote from the heart, and he wrote as a Canadian, which we all are, and we all feel the same.
That's like what I love about them is they can do a song like Ahead by a Century, but then come in and nail a heavier song. And that's kind of like what I've been trying to focus on lately myself with writing. It's like show the diversity in your music, go blow someone's head off, and then go sing them a lullaby. You know what I mean? Like people are like, shit, you're not a one-trick pony. And I think that's what they hit on so well. Same with like Zeppelin. They'll go do a soft song and then go blow your head off with Black Dog or something.
Yeah, well, there's not a hip album out there that you can't throw, and I'm gonna throw in the CD player back when there were CDs, discs. Yeah. It's funny because vinyl's back now, but there's not one that you can't put on and listen.
Know a couple songs.
Well, there's not an album that you can't put on and listen from 1 through 12.
No, exactly, man.
Right, and they're all good tunes. You don't get on there and go, yeah, this one's good, but I'm going to skip number 4 now.
Yeah,
I'm going to skip number 4 because 2 and 3 are kind of garbage. But whatever. Well, there's none of that. There's always good tunes, right? And they had comedy behind them, right? Like the Road Apples album.
Such a good album.
But it was funny that they fought with the record company about the name of the album.
Yeah,
and they named it Road Apples because it was horse shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That was Gord's way of saying, screw you. Yeah. This is nothing but a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah.
We're going to call it Road Apples. Ha.
And it's like, how can we say no? They're not breaking any rules. It's just sliding by.
Yeah.
That's Gord. He's sly as a fox, man.
Yeah, he was an amazing Canadian, as was Captain Jennifer Casey. Again, this show is in nothing but honor to her. It's a tribute to the Tragically Hip, which is one of the greatest Canadian bands of all time. So what it is in honor and to show our respect for Captain Casey, who came home yesterday. I seen some videos. A few of my friends are in the forces who attended the Highway of Heroes and recorded the motorcade and everything. It was absolutely amazing. Man. It was mind blowing to see. Like it was almost like a 15-minute motorcade, and it was on the divided highway. But as a Canadian and a Nova Scotian, the most impressive thing to me was that motorcade started coming, and every car on the opposite side of the median stopped dead, pulled over, and not a car moved. Not a car moved. Everybody sat there and waited until
Canadian as Canadian gets, man.
Man, it was absolutely. It's amazing to do something like that, right? Because it shows. I know after the horrible incident that happened in Truro there a few weeks ago, or Palmaquit, we did a tribute out here on the North Sydney Highway, where a few of the RCMP in the area showed up to do their show of respect on the overpass, and
you were shooting photos for that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was doing photos. But, coming from Sydney to North Sydney, you didn't really know what was going on until you kind of got under the overpass.
Okay.
But coming from Sydney Mines towards North Sydney, you could see what was going on. And I was literally standing in the middle of the highway taking pictures because a transfer truck blocked the highway.
To not let anyone through.
And not let anybody through. He said, no, that's it. You're stopping here.
That's
We're
awesome,
showing respect for these people. That's it. It's shout out the truck drivers, man. Those guys are out there.
Those guys work hard.
The roads, right?
Yeah, and they're the king of the roads.
Yeah, it's with the Highway of Heroes with her coming home. The first 3 vehicles were transfer trucks. Block the road. That's it. Nope.
That's amazing, man. That's like a beautiful tribute.
Yeah. No, Trina, I'm sorry. Andre is not going to do New Orleans is Sinking to Rock the House and Shut Her Down. But I guarantee you that this version of this tune with that voice is going to be what you need to close the show. And I'm going to give Dylan a minute. I'm not really sure. I don't know what Dylan's got going on right now, but all I see is a blowtorch. I'm going to bring everybody back on the screen here. Elise is there. I'm going to bring everybody back on for this last tune. I'm going to mute Yiz, but I'm going to bring Yiz on screen because this is going to close out. Unfortunately, Eddie had to part ways with us as soon as he was done because he's got to get up and lobster fish in the morning, and Brent had to part ways with us as well. He had something going on, but I'm going to bring everybody on for this last tune. Andre's going to blow your socks off with this one. I'm going to wait 1 second.
There we go. There's Dill.
Were you doing dabs?
Frescas.
Those are delicious.
Maybe.
I seen the blowtorch going. I'm like, there's a blowtorch. Probably
blowing
doing
that
dabs.
hydro.
On the lettuce. Can't help it. All right. So, folks, thank you so much for coming on tonight and taking part in the Tragically Hip tribute show. It was absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for coming on again because, like I said, we were here honoring Captain Jennifer Casey, who is a proud Nova Scotian and a lover of the Tragically Hip. So I thank you guys so much for coming on and helping me do just that. Again, next week is Wayne Badecki. Thank you, Elise, for pointing that out. I can't wait to bring Wayne on. We already chatted a little bit today, so he's excited to come on. He's actually tuned in right now watching us. So, hey, Wayne, can't wait to have you part of the show next week. But let's let Andre shut this thing down. I don't know if you guys know what he's playing, but he's gonna
see how we do it.
Yeah, I heard
how
a little.
It goes.
Yeah, he's gonna turn that 6-string into a bass guitar in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show is all yours, man.
All
Shut her down.
Good job, everyone. Thanks for having me. Let's have some fun.
Woo!
He said I'm fabulously rich. Come on, just let's go. She kinda bit her lip. Jeez, I don't know, but I can guarantee there'll be no knock on the door. I'm total pro, no knock on the door, and that's what I'm here for. I come from downtown, born ready for you. I'm with will and determination and grace. Of engagement are hard to endorse when the appearance of conflict meets the appearance of force. But I can guarantee there'll be no knock on
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andre. Dylan, Elise, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Cheers for having us, guys.
Hold on, I gotta turn my shit back down. I kind of jacked the volume in that one. Absolutely. My in-ears are making my ears bleed right now.
I know. I've had these things on all day. I had my brother up here. He plays in the band with me, and we've been recording all day and video and all that fun stuff. So I'm just like, head explosion.
Yeah, no, man, that was phenomenal. Everybody did. Elise with your Bob Cajun, and Dylan with your fireworks and boots.
Killer job, guys.
Brent with his Wheat Kings and In View, and Eddie with Blow It High Dough. Just, oh man, so amazing. I'm so honored and privileged to have you guys as musicians come on this show. I'm absolutely thankful for you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming on and being part of this. And I can't wait to do the next one.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, me and Andre have already talked about my other project that I have in the wheelhouse. That's going to be a cool one that we'll all be part of again. But the next one's going to be a fundraiser. So, in the area. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Thank you for paying tribute to the Tragically Hip, Mr. Gord Downey, who will forever be an icon in Canada.
Absolutely.
And our newest icon, Captain Jennifer Casey. The show was for her, absolutely 110% for her and everything she did for this country. And sadly, she died in service for this country, which not one of us sitting here right now could imagine doing.
Oh man, it's just it's crazy,
So,
this world that we're living in, and the events that have happened lately. It's just nice to see everybody to come together to pay tribute to some people that have really helped us along the way.
Yep, and I keep saying this every single show. If it wasn't for music, we would have nothing, because no matter what goes wrong in the world, music always makes it better.
Agreed, man.
Amen.
Absolutely. Good night, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next Monday night, 9 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time, Wayne Badecki. You don't want to miss this guy. He's been plugging away at it for a little while. He's got a hell of a voice and a whole catalog of tunes for us. Good night, folks.
Woohoo.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.